Welcome to the Bible Quiz and Trivia channel. Today, we're exploring the intricate genealogy of Jesus Christ, tracing his lineage through history and prophecy. Hit the subscribe button and like this video to support our content. After the quiz, share your score in the comments. We love seeing how well you do. Are you ready? Let's get started. Question 1. Who is listed as the father of Joseph, the husband of Mary, in the Gospel of Matthew? A. Jacob, B. Heli, C. Joachim, D. Eliezer. Answer: A. Jacob. Jacob is listed as the father of Joseph in Matthew 1:16. This establishes Joseph's lineage in the line of David, linking Jesus to the Davidic line through his legal father. Question 2. Which prophet is mentioned in both genealogies of Jesus in the Gospels of Matthew and Luke? A. Isaiah, B. Jeremiah, C. Zerubbabel, D. Daniel. Answer: C. Zerubbabel. Zerubbabel is mentioned in both Matthew 1:12 and Luke 3:27. His inclusion highlights the continuity of the Davidic line through the Babylonian exile, fulfilling the prophecies of a restored kingdom. Question 3. How many generations does Matthew list between Abraham and David? A. 14 generations, B. 12 generations, C. 10 generations, D. 16 generations. Answer: A. 14 generations. Matthew lists 14 generations from Abraham to David in Matthew 1:17, structuring the genealogy to show organized divine history in sets of 14, possibly for memorization or symbolic purposes. Question 4. How many generations does Matthew list between David and the Babylonian exile? A. 14 generations, B. 12 generations, C. 10 generations, D. 16 generations. Answer: A. 14 generations. Matthew also lists 14 generations from David to the Babylonian exile, maintaining a symmetrical structure in the genealogy that emphasizes the prophetic and historical significance of these intervals. Question 5. How many generations does Matthew list from the Babylonian exile to Christ? A. 14 generations, B. 12 generations, C. 10 generations, D. 16 generations. Answer: A. 14 generations. Again, Matthew lists 14 generations from the Babylonian exile to Christ, completing his structured genealogical presentation to demonstrate God's planned unfolding of history leading to the Messiah. Question 6. What is the significance of the number of generations listed in Matthew's genealogy? A. Fulfillment of prophecy, B. Literary technique for memorization, C. Illustration of divine perfection, D. All of the above. Answer: D. All of the above. The use of 14 generations in each segment of Matthew's genealogy may serve multiple purposes. It aids in memorization, underscores the fulfillment of prophecy, and symbolically represents divine order and completion. Question 7. Who does Luke claim was the father of Joseph, the husband of Mary? A. Jacob, B. Heli, C. Joachim, D. Eliezer. Answer: B. Heli. Luke lists Heli as the father of Joseph in Luke 3:23. This divergence from Matthew's genealogy may indicate a levirate marriage or an alternate lineage through Mary. Question 8. How does Luke's genealogy of Jesus trace back to Adam? A. Direct lineage, B. through symbolic representation. C. Through the sons of Noah. D. It does not trace back to Adam. Answer: A. Direct lineage. Luke traces Jesus' genealogy back to Adam in Luke 3:38, emphasizing Jesus' universal connection to all humanity and his role as the second Adam in theological terms. Question 9. What differences exist between the genealogy of Jesus in Matthew and Luke just after King David? A. Different sons of David. B. Different number of generations. C. Different geographical locations. D. A and B. Answer: D, A, and B. Matthew traces Jesus' lineage through Solomon, while Luke uses Nathan, another son of David. Additionally, the number of generations and names listed also vary significantly. Question 10. Why is David's son Solomon included in Matthew's genealogy but not in Luke's? A. To emphasize the royal lineage. B. To highlight wisdom literature connections. C. To correct historical inaccuracies. D. To simplify the lineage. Answer: A. To emphasize the royal lineage. Solomon's inclusion in Matthew's genealogy highlights the royal aspect of Jesus' lineage, connecting him directly to the kingdom of Israel and its most illustrious kings. Question 11. Why is David's son Nathan included in Luke's genealogy but not in Matthew's? A. To emphasize prophetic lineage. B. To connect to lesser-known biblical figures. C. To highlight a more humble lineage. D. To differentiate from Matthew's account. Answer: C. To highlight a more humble lineage. Nathan's inclusion in Luke's genealogy, as opposed to the royal Solomon, emphasizes a more humble and perhaps more human aspect of Jesus' lineage, aligning with Luke's emphasis on Jesus' connection to all people. Question 12. Which woman in Jesus' genealogy was the wife of Uriah? A. Ruth. B. Rahab. C. Bathsheba. D. Tamar. Answer: C. Bathsheba. Bathsheba, though not named directly in Matthew 1-6, is referred to as Uriah's wife, highlighting her story and David's significant sin, which brings a real flawed human element into the genealogy. Question 13. How is Ruth related to Jesus according to the genealogy in the Gospel of Matthew? A. Mother of Obed. B. Wife of Boaz. C. Great-grandmother of David. D. All of the above. Answer: D. All of the above. Ruth the Moabite is listed in Matthew 1-5 as the wife of Boaz, mother of Obed, and great-grandmother of David, showcasing the inclusion of a Gentile woman in the Messiah's lineage. Question 14. Which woman in the genealogy of Jesus was first a prostitute in Jericho? A. Rahab. B. Ruth. C. Bathsheba. D. Mary Magdalene. Answer: A. Rahab. Rahab, a former prostitute in Jericho who helped Israelite spies, is mentioned in Matthew 1-5. Her story highlights the grace of inclusion and redemption in the lineage of Christ. Question 15. Why is the inclusion of women in Jesus' genealogy in Matthew significant? A. It highlights gendered equality. B. It underscores the role of women in salvation history. C. It illustrates grace and redemption. D. All of the above. Answer D, all of the above. Question 16. How does Matthew's genealogy establish Jesus' legal right to the throne of David? A, by tracing his lineage through Joseph, the legal father. B, by emphasizing his birth in Bethlehem. C, by direct lineage from God. D, by his teachings and miracles. Answer. A, by tracing his lineage through Joseph, the legal father. Explanation. Matthew's genealogy traces Jesus' lineage through Joseph, who was of the house of David. This legal descent, outlined in Matthew 1:16, establishes Jesus' rightful claim to the throne of David, fulfilling Old Testament prophecies about the Messiah's lineage. Question 17. What role does the genealogy in Luke play in the narrative of Jesus' life and mission? A, establishes his divine origin. B, illustrates his kingly ancestry. C, emphasizes his role as a teacher. D, connects him to all of humanity. Answer. D, connects him to all of humanity. Explanation. Luke's genealogy traces Jesus' lineage back to Adam, the first man, highlighting Jesus' connection to all humanity. This inclusion underlines the universal scope of Jesus' mission and his role as the Savior for all people, not just the Jews. Question 18. What does Jesus' lineage through both Joseph and Mary signify in terms of messianic prophecy? A, validates prophecies about his miracles. B, shows fulfillment of kingly and priestly roles. C, confirms he is the prophesied seed of the woman. D, demonstrates he is a prophet like Moses. Answer. C, confirms he is the prophesied seed of the woman. Explanation. Jesus' lineage through both Joseph and Mary underscores his fulfillment of the Genesis prophecy regarding the seed of the woman, Genesis 3:15. This lineage also satisfies prophecies regarding the Messiah's descent from David, affirming his messianic credentials. Question 19. How does the genealogy of Jesus affirm his claim as the Messiah? A, by showcasing his wisdom and teachings. B, by demonstrating his divine power. C, by linking him to Abraham and David. D, by proving his resurrection. Answer. C, by linking him to Abraham and David. Explanation. Both genealogies in Matthew and Luke link Jesus to Abraham and David, crucial figures in Jewish messianic expectations. These links affirm Jesus' claim as the Messiah by fulfilling key Old Testament prophecies that the Messiah would come from Abraham's and David's lines. Question 20. What is the theological importance of tracing Jesus' lineage back to Abraham? A, highlights his role in creating a new covenant. B, emphasizes his Old Testament knowledge. C, shows the continuity of God's plan. D, both A and C. Answer. D, both A and C. Explanation. Tracing Jesus' lineage back to Abraham has theological significance as it connects him with the Abrahamic covenant, highlighting the continuity of God's salvific plan from the Old to the New Testament and his role in creating a new covenant for all people. Question 21. Why is Jesus sometimes called the Son of David? A, to highlight his teaching in the temple. B, to underscore his fulfillment of Davidic prophecies. C, because he was born in Jerusalem. D, due to his friendship with Solomon. Answer B, to underscore his fulfillment of Davidic prophecies. Explanation. Jesus is called the Son of David to emphasize his fulfillment of the prophecies that a descendant of David would sit eternally on Israel's throne. 2 Samuel 7:12-16. This title reaffirms his messianic identity and royal lineage. Question 22. How do the genealogies in Matthew and Luke reflect the author's respective audiences? A. Matthew for Jews, Luke for Gentiles. B. Both for early Christian communities. C. Both strictly for historical records. D. Matthew for Romans, Luke for Greeks. Answer. A. Matthew for Jews, Luke for Gentiles. Explanation. Matthew's genealogy is structured to appeal to a Jewish audience by linking Jesus to Abraham and David, key figures in Jewish tradition. Luke's genealogy, tracing back to Adam, addresses a broader Gentile audience, emphasizing Jesus' universal mission. Question 23. What is the significance of the genealogies ending and beginning with Jesus Christ? A. Demonstrates his eternal nature. B. Focuses on his revolutionary teachings. C. Emphasizes his role in fulfilling the law. D. Confirms his historical existence. Answer. A. Demonstrates his eternal nature. Explanation. The genealogies focus on Jesus as both the beginning and the end, highlights his eternal nature and sovereign lordship over history. This structuring points to Jesus as the Alpha and Omega, central to all God's purposes. Question 24. How does the genealogy in Matthew emphasize Jesus' role as the Messiah for the Jews? A. By detailing his miracles in Jewish regions. B. By connecting him to Jewish patriarchs and kings. C. By highlighting his adherence to Jewish laws. D. By his teachings in synagogues. Answer. B. By connecting him to Jewish patriarchs and kings. Explanation. Matthew's genealogy emphasizes Jesus' role as the Messiah for the Jews by meticulously connecting him to key Jewish figures like Abraham and David. This linkage underlines his rightful place in Jewish messianic expectations and his fulfillment of the prophecies. Question 25. How does the genealogy in Luke emphasize Jesus' universal mission for all of humanity? By ending with God. B. By starting with Adam. C. By mentioning non-Jewish figures. D. Both B and C. Answer. D. Both B and C. Explanation. Luke's genealogy emphasizes Jesus' universal mission by tracing his lineage back to Adam, the first man, and including non-Jewish figures. This approach portrays Jesus as the Savior not just for Jews, but for all humanity, breaking cultural and ethnic boundaries. Question 26. Who was Shealtiel, and why is his inclusion in the genealogy of Jesus important? A. A king of Israel. B. Zerubbabel's father. C. A high priest. D. A prophet. Answer. B. Zerubbabel's father. Explanation. Shealtiel, mentioned as Zerubbabel's father in both genealogies, plays a crucial role as a symbolic link through the exile. His inclusion underscores the continuity of the Davidic line through historical upheavals, fulfilling the prophecy of a restored kingdom. Question 27. How does the genealogy in Matthew reinforce the prophecy of the virgin birth? A. By omitting Joseph's paternal role. B. By mentioning Mary explicitly. C. By tracing Joseph's lineage to David. D. Both A and B. Answer. D. Both A and B. Explanation. Matthew's genealogy reinforces the virgin birth prophecy by explicitly mentioning Mary and carefully wording Joseph's role, stating he was the husband of Mary, of whom Jesus was born, which aligns with prophecies about the Messiah's miraculous birth. Isaiah 7:14. Question 28. What implications does the genealogy have for the doctrine of the incarnation? A. Confirms Jesus' divine nature. B. Shows Jesus as fully human and fully divine. C. Links Jesus to historical figures. D. Both B and C. Answer. D. Both B and C. Explanation. The genealogy supports the doctrine of the incarnation by tracing Jesus' human lineage, showing he is fully human, linked to historical figures, while also affirming his divine nature as the Son of God, fulfilling theological and prophetic significance. Question 29. How does the genealogy in Matthew challenge or support the concept of the kingly Messiah? A. By excluding regal figures. B. By highlighting his peasant background. C. By connecting him to King David. D. By emphasizing his spiritual kingdom. Answer. C. By connecting him to King David. Explanation. Matthew's genealogy supports the concept of the kingly Messiah by directly connecting Jesus to King David. This connection reinforces Jesus' legal and prophetic right to claim the title of king, aligning with Jewish expectations of a royal Messiah. Question 30. What are the implications of the differences in the genealogies of Jesus for biblical inerrancy and reliability? Suggests errors in the biblical text. B. Reflects different theological emphasis. C. Undermines the historical accuracy. D. Both B and C. Answer. B. Reflects different theological emphasis. Explanation. The differences in the genealogies of Jesus highlight the distinct theological emphasis of Matthew and Luke rather than undermining biblical inerrancy. These variations cater to their respective audiences and purposes, illustrating how genealogical records were used to convey theological truths rather than mere historical details.